Music from the classical era, which lasted from approximately 1730 to 1820, was influential in shaping Western music and culture in several ways. Welcome to NPR, where we discuss influential music throughout history. I'm your host, Carly. Today, we'll be talking about the music from the 20th century, development of symphonic form and classical style. The classical era saw the development of musical forms such as the sonata, concerto, and symphony, which became the cornerstones of the Western classical tradition. Composers like Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven refined these forms and created a distinct classical style characterized by balance, clarity, and elegance. Expansion of the orchestra. The classical era saw the expansion of the orchestra, which became an increasingly important medium for musical expression. Composers wrote music for larger and more varied ensembles, and instrumentation became more complex and expressive. New forms of vocal music. The classical era saw the emergence of new forms of vocal music, such as the buffo, which was more light-hearted and humorous than the traditional opera. This led to a greater focus on the expressive capabilities of the human voice and paved the way for the Romantic era's more emotional and dramatic vocal music. During the classical era, a plethora of popular musical instruments played a significant role in shaping the musical landscape of the time. Composers such as Mozart, Haydn, and Beethoven harnessed the unique capabilities of these instruments, driving them to prominence in symphonies and chamber music. The intricate and melodic sounds of instruments like the violin, piano, and clarinet resonated with audiences, transcending cultural boundaries and fostering a shared appreciation for classical music. This era of creativity and innovation set the stage for a new wave of instrumental virtuosos, paving the way for future generations of musicians to build upon these influential sounds. Now on to some famous songs from the classical era. Influence on other art forms. Classical music had a significant impact on other art forms of the classical era, such as literature and visual art. The ideals of balance, clarity, and symmetry that characterized classical music were also evident in the works of writers like Jane Austen and artists like Jacques-Louis David. Overall, music from the classical era was influential because it established many of the fundamental principles of Western classical music and paved the way for later developments in the Romantic and modern eras. Its impact on other art forms also demonstrates its lasting cultural significance.